On the banks of the St. Johns River, there's a good look inside Everbank Stadium here in downtown Jacksonville. Here's the kicker, Jason Myers, to get this one started. And off we go from Jacksonville. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. They'll start on the ground. ETN. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd and 5. ETN once more. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33. Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Now Lawrence. This will be caught by Brown. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A big play that time on the catch and run. 34 yards.
Execution was one of their watchwords leading up to this one. And on that play, able to execute brilliantly here on this opening drive.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 34. A shotgun snap and again the ETN. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Now Lawrence. Over the middle here to Brown. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 20-yard line. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive. Now Lawrence to throw. He completes it to Hunter. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it's 2nd down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
In motion left is Thomas. From the gun, it's Lawrence. And he's got it. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Brian Thomas, a 16-yard touchdown. And the Jags are on the board first here this afternoon. Well, they spoke about the importance of getting off to a good start, and they're on their first drive, Charles, into the end zone for the touchdown.
And what an advantage for them. They're already clicking one drive in, didn't need to wait to get up to full speed. We had heard about the extra time they put in with each other, trying to learn each other's skills, what they like, the whole deal, and it paid off early in this one. I would expect them to keep firing on the next drive and keep that connection going.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. First carry here for Ken Walker. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Darnold now to throw. Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
And good yardage there on 1st down, because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
From the 46, here's 2nd down and 2. From the gun, it's Walker. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. 10 yards and a Seattle 1st down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down, keep the sticks moving.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And this is caught inside the 5. It's a big play there for Seattle. 43 yards. They lulled them to sleep there, so to speak. That was all set up by the running game, wasn't it?
Another example of what all offensive coordinators tell us. When the running game's operating, it really opens up the playbook. And that's when they hit them with the play action. And you can see the defenders rushing towards the line.
And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. It's a 1-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own. Well, he finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 downs, stay on the field, run it, and catch it. And he gets it done.
Myers connects on the PAT, and we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the 2nd time here in this game. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
And there, even if you've got to take something off that throw so that he slows down to catch it, that's far more preferable than what happened there. A big miss on what should have been a touchdown.
ETN up the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A 14-yard 1st down pickup for the Jaguars. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
On 1st down, right back to ETN. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, it's almost football 101 that you preach to your safeties. Don't let anyone get behind you. You're the last line of defense. But he didn't let the play come to him. He went to the play. How about that read and recognition and finishing off that one behind the line of scrimmage?
And they'll go again with ETN. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7 left.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos there, but I think they deserve even bigger ones, because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. loosened up defense, go into pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a first down.
And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. And the momentum just continuing to build and build for them. They had the touchdown, their last drive to tie the game. Now their defense does its job, and Charles, all of a sudden, they've got a chance to capture the lead here.
And we're seeing a really nice exhibition of what coaches love to call complementary football. Offense gets a tie, defense does its job, gets the ball right back, and their teammates now have momentum. What a nice job they're doing, all doing it together.
So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
A play fake, and it's Darnold. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So he gets too far beyond the line, and that's an easy call for the official. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, Darnold loses it. And this will be gathered up in the end zone, and that's a defensive touchdown. That's something you have to be wary of on your side of the field, that close to the goal line. The defense, they are looking for that football. They got it. They scored it.
You are so right, and the quarterback has to speed things up himself. So close to the goal line, they're going to get after you. Make sure you get rid of the football and in a safe place.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. And out now come the Seahawks. And they'll be looking to start fresh. Just a moment ago, they were backed up, coughed up the football, and then saw it go the other way for 6 points.
I just wonder, partner, sometimes they put such an emphasis on things. And, you know, in that situation, as they ran out there, they were told, take care of the football, don't cough it up. And sometimes that's the last thing you hear, and that's exactly what you do.
And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, second down.
I know we can't hear what's going on in that huddle right now, but I'll guarantee you at least one offensive lineman is saying, my bad, we simply couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage. We've got to do a better job trying to root those guys out of there.
Got it here at the 29 on 2nd and 8. Back to throw, Darnold. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. It's the first catch of the game for Kupp, and he's got a first down.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Here's 2nd and 10. Up the middle, here's Walker. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Darnold. He's going to float this one deep right side. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he'll get this way down into Jacksonville territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover it. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
And he will throw this one out of the back of the end zone. It's incomplete.
Great coverage down in the end zone. He's scanning the field, looking. No one ever came open. So in the end, he makes the best decision and just fires it over the end line.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. Now Darnold. Escaping the pressure right. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
The plan was clearly to challenge them by sending a blitz on 2nd down, but even the extra guys couldn't catch him in the backfield, though. He doesn't scramble for a first, but he does get the last laugh by evading the blitz and getting beyond the line of scrimmage.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. To throw is Darnold. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So a decision to make there. They decline the penalty as they'd rather force the 4th down. Now here's Jason Myers. He gets set for the Seahawk field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Myers' kick is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up. 1st and 10 at their own 26. They'll look to ETN to start things out. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
On 2nd down, ETN once more. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football. They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. As they've got it as we resume action. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Jaguars first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. 6 yards there on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's a 2nd and 4. Straight ahead, Etienne. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
That's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. 2nd and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through, and has a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a 3rd down.
And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. They'll run the jet sweep with Brown. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. And tip your cap to DeMarcus Lawrence. Nice play defensively.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
On play action, Lawrence being chased out left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Uchenna Nwosu got the sack there.
Chalk that one up to bad acting, I guess, because they certainly failed to sell the handoff, and the pressure stayed keyed in on the quarterback. No Oscar awards for this offense, just a loss of yardage.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. Back to throw here. Open man, this is Brenton Strange, the tight end. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
Well, don't tell any defensive coordinator I've played for, but that might be considered a win for both teams because defensively they stopped them short and forced the 4th down. But offensively, they picked up enough yards to give their kicker a better shot if that's what they want to do.
Going for it, here's Etienne. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. At first glance, I actually wasn't sure that he got it, but he ended up getting it by about a full yard.
He certainly did, but it took a little effort, didn't it? Took some nice push, a little crease inside, and some determined running to make sure that he got the first down.
Lawrence. And incomplete on the deep ball.
They geared up and took the deep shot downfield, but it turned out it wasn't one-on-one coverage. Extra defenders in the area, and that one winds up incomplete.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Off the option, here's Etienne. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Here's Lawrence to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, what, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Here's Lawrence. That ball nearly intercepted. The rookie had his hands on it, but couldn't pull it in.
That play call wasn't there for them against that coverage. So they're going to spin the dial now in their playbook and come up with one more shot at the marker to try and keep this series going.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Lawrence. A throw left sideline, falls incomplete.
And that drive was going pretty darn well. 3 previous times converted on 3rd down. But on that one, the defense rose up and said, enough of that.
Now a field goal try coming up here for the Jags. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And this one is right through. And that moves them up by a touchdown now at 17-10. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
Here's the Jaguar kick team now as they run up and send this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. They find themselves down 17-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. 2nd and 7. Here's Darnold. This is Fant on the short completion. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a 1st down as well.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield. Here's 2nd and 3. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
That was a good illustration of setting the edge as a defensive end, being able to make sure that you stay on your feet no matter what type of block, and you're not going to get pushed inside. Stayed home, skated to the outside, and made the play.
Now it's Darnold. And that is incomplete.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their 3rd drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
The Seahawks will call on Michael Dixon on 4th down to punt this one away. And this will be taken at the 13. A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. And now out come the Jags. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Credit the tackle there to Uchenna Nwosu.
I would think as a play call, you want to look for some quick hitters to your tight end, any type of a route to replace where that linebacker was, because when you saw the speed with which he reacted and stuffed that play, maybe use that speed against him.
And the pressure gets to Lawrence, and he'll go down. Defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence applied the heat.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. Ernest Jones, the linebacker, with a sack.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Here's Logan Cook now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So possession goes over here on the punt, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. Here's Walker to start the drive. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, they certainly got dented with that 1st down run. So now they've got to be back on their heels a little bit as a defense.
Now a 2nd and 6. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? They'll try for the first with Walker, and he's going to be a yard short. A 2-yard pickup leads to 4th and 1. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Out of the gun, it's Lawrence. He finds his man, complete. It's Hunter, and they're able to get this one across the 35. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
Any questions of how they'd approach this drive were answered right there. They come out throwing, and they get a nice pickup here toward the end of the 1st half.
From the shotgun, Lawrence. A short throw there to Strange.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches. Lawrence will throw. A short throw there to Strange. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 37. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Again, it's Lawrence. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
2nd and 10. Now Lawrence. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now Lawrence. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 18. Now the Jags will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Now Lawrence to throw. That's caught. It's Strange, the tight end. So the completion gets him just a yard, and it's 2nd down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, this from 34. And his kick is indeed good. And they double him up here. That makes our score 20-10. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
Maybe time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And the Seahawks offense going to get one final possession in this first half. And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just one snap of the football. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down, 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Seahawks trailing, but they will have possession first here as we resume action in the 3rd quarter. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the 3rd. And they're on the short end of the scoreboard here. Charles, what adjustments, if any, do you think they need to make for the second half?
Well, paraphrasing the gold medal hockey winning coach Herb Brooks, I just say you continue to play your game. Throw the ball. They had success doing it in the first half, so make sure you keep getting the ball to your playmakers, a little bit more to the perimeter perhaps, but above all, play your game.
52 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
What a way to start a drive. An excellent run, a tone setter, and now if you want to take a shot on second down and go play action and make it look like the same exact play and throw it over the top, you can do so because you've established the run in a big way.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They run again with Walker. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Here's Darnold. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. The first down screen pass, good for 5.
And that's all about recognition right there because he's got to go from pass rush mode to pursuit mode, what defensive line coaches like to call retracing. And he's able to retreat and make the tackle for just a short gain.
Now 2nd and 5. Out of the gun, Walker with it. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. Darnold now to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Walker now on 1st and 10. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Off of play action, Darnold looking deep downfield. And that is incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on third down. A shotgun snap for Darnold. Throw out wide to Walker. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. So the completion good for just 3. And that'll bring up 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. And that is no good. Oh, he missed it just wide of the upright, and they will not cut into that 10-point lead. Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Running out of the gun with ETN. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now they're dealing with second and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. Now a handoff to Bigsby. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
When you're lateral to the line of scrimmage, linebackers keep those shoulders square so they can go up and down. But when it's time to go, turn your shoulders just like a running back. Get through the line and hit the runner in the backfield.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Leonard Williams in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to fourth down. This defense coming out after the half, and if that plays any indicator, Charles, maybe a little refreshed and refocused here for quarters 3 and 4.
Yeah, they did really well on that one. That's exactly what they need to keep doing if they want to change their fortunes in this game.
Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. So first and 10 now from the 30. A play fake, and it's Darnold. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
And this is what they're going to need more of. It's the third quarter. You're trailing. You've got to come out with a renewed sense of purpose. And that's a nice way to kick off the drive with good yardage and a first down.
Straight ahead, Walker. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Second down and 8. Sticking with Walker on second down. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. 2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on third down to keep the drive going. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It goes as a gain of 9, and it moves the chains. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Jags are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Throwing to start the drive, Lawrence. And his throw here's incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. To throw again on second down. Lawrence throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know that there's probably another throw coming on third down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Back to throw. Lawrence. And that will be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction. The Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And Darnold, he lost the football. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
On the counter, it's Walker. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Partner, one thing I was lousy at growing up, track and field, I could never anticipate the start before a race, but how about that backer? He figured it out, jumped the count, and turned it into a really nice play for his defense.
From the 50, it's Darnold. Quick hitter here, it's complete. A gain of 8 there on the play. And now we've got a 3rd and 3. On the handoff, this is Walker. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. 70 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Back to Walker on 1st down. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. And Walker once more. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. A hole to dig out of here. 2nd and 17. Play action. It's Darnold. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
And a smart play there. He's probably saying, I wish I would have done that on the last drive instead of throwing the interception.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Back to throw, Darnold. And that one too wide and incomplete.
Well, if you're going to give out a little applause on that play, it has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the 1st row.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? and that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain.
Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football here, and they'll look to extend their lead as we begin quarter number 4. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Quick slant to Brown. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Here's 2nd and 7. Looking to throw. Lawrence. He'll get this out to the flat for Etienne. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. DeMarcus Lawrence picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. To throw is Darnold. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
Darnold. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
The offense on 3rd down, they've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Now Darnold. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Give him credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
Now here's Michael Dixon, standing just outside his own goal line. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. Well, there are two scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away, but the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Now a 2nd and 10. ETN up the middle. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
And that's exactly what offenses try to avoid by using motion and throwing different formations up. They hate when he can draw a bead on the play, get a running start, and make a big play behind the line of scrimmage as he did just there.
Play action. It's Lawrence. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12. Well, a clear running situation. Try to take time off the clock. You ran the previous play, set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they had shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit them over the top.
Flush to his right. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Now this play was all about the eyes. As he rolled out to his right, he kept one eye downfield and one eye on what was in front of him, and he ended up picking up some pretty good yardage.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A give to ETN running right. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Off the play fake. Here's Lawrence. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Leonard Williams able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
He completes it to Hunter. The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. If they continue to throw these safe passes, who can blame them?
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. A shotgun snap and a give to ETN. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3.
Now that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and that will extend their lead even further. So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist, but time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
Here's the Jaguar kick team now as they run up and send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Now the ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
16 yards right off the bat and a first down. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
His throw incomplete. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
Now it's Darnold. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
There are a good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. Forced out to his left. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big 3rd down play. And they did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it. And he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
4th down, and for Darnold, it's desperation time. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
I don't know about you, but can you just almost feel the relief that's gone through this stadium? He picked up that first down. Without it, this game is over.
And when he took off, it was almost like, oh, no, this might be it, but found a way to pick up the first. Over the middle, that's hauled in by Cup. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. The catch and run, good for 24 yards. Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible. Open on the left side, this is Valdez-Scantling. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Add the gain here to the yards total. But it appears that they read man defense on that one as the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done. That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run? I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me that option of running play action and maybe throwing it. Walker is in. Touchdown, Seattle. Well, let the natural light of today reflect that he is now getting into the end zone 2 times. Look at you. You're a little Ralph Waldo Emerson, is that his name? No, I was just going with the meteorologist. Said it was a day game. I'm here. The extra point now coming from Myers. And the lead will shrink to 6. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Jacksonville set to go again offensively. That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback. Because to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My high school coach used to say that all the time. Laddie, take over by word and deed.
And deed means action.
Exactly.
They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that will bring up second down. A handoff for Etienne. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 70 yards now for Etienne, and he's got a first down.
Well, they didn't accomplish their goal. They didn't get a stop there, gave up another first down. They have all 3 timeouts in their pocket. I think defensively, you've got to start thinking about using them here.
I was just going to ask you at what point you think now's the go time?
I think now's the go time. I don't think you sit back and wait because they can take a lot of time off the clock between plays and run 3 to 4 and really put you in a stressful spot.
And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Five points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Second down and 6 now. Here's a give to Bigsby. And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. So not a lineman, but the tight end instead this time, drawing the holding call.
And more what you're getting with tight ends are guys who are much more receiver than blocker. They may be willing, but that might not be their thing. Oftentimes, they'll be the ones getting the penalties.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. And they'll go again with Etienne. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Third and 5. Here's Lawrence. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
You put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to perhaps salt this one away. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So that one, CD, going to make the road back a lot more difficult.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know they were praying on the other sideline for a miss because now, as you pointed out, a very difficult road. Down 2 scores. You don't just need a touchdown. You need a chain of events to go your way. You've got to score, somehow get the ball back, and score again. The odds of that happening, not great in your favor.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. So Sam Darnold in the offense. Down by 9. 1:38 to go. They'll need a score here and also likely an onside kick recovery. But first things first. 1st and 10. Darnold gets this complete to Smith and Jigba. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
One timeout at their disposal, but more pressing is the need for 2 scores, obviously. Here's 1st and 10. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Well, good hands there defensively. It's 2nd down.
Passing lanes, tough to come by with so many defensive backs on the field here late in the game. And it's not just the number of bodies, it's their quickness and their agility that makes it tough to complete a pass.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Up the middle, here's Walker.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Big play looming here. This is 3rd and 7 with a crowd on their feet. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Jordan Lewis. And the Jaguars will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
So this will be a win for Jacksonville. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle. Go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Jaguars are winners here as we say so long from Jacksonville.